I'm Brian Winnekins. We are at the Irrigation Association's annual education conference and show in Las Vegas. And thank you to the Irrigation Association, along with the National Groundwater Association and Silo of Durand, BASF, Ashley Gausman, your representative serving Northwest Wisconsin, and the Animal Wellness Center of Buffalo Valley. I am with Peter McCornick. He is an executive director with the Water for Food, the Global Institute at the University of Nebraska. We're going to talk a little bit about how important water for food is going to be here. And he was keynote speaker here at the Irrigation Association show. And Dr. McCornick, thank you for joining us today. How important is water going to be? It's very important now, but how much more important is it going to be to agriculture and be able to have a balance of we need water for agriculture, but we also need water in the cities for people to drink and use, and really just water for the environment?
Yeah, water for agriculture is going to become an increasingly challenging area we need to focus on. As the population globally grows, we anticipate 10 billion people by 2050 or before that. We also expect as economies are growing and maturing, as they have been doing, the demand for a richer diet generally means more water-intensive crops or more animal proteins. So as that demand grows, if business as usual model demonstrates that we would need nearly twice as much water for agriculture by 2050. Some of the things we're doing, some of the interventions are doing in terms of managing water better will mean that it'll be less, but we need to realize that the agricultural demand for water will grow in the next 10 to 20 years and continue to grow.
How important will technology in agriculture help to maybe mitigate some of this extra water use, or at least help with keeping the balance of water between agriculture and water between the cities? I mean, I guess California is a great example where farmers aren't getting as much water as they need to grow their crops, and even in the cities because of the drought. So how important will technology play?
Technology is hugely important in this equation. I mean, the solutions we need in applying in any given context will be a mixture of technologies, practices, and the institutions and policies. With technologies, everything from the crop breeding and improve varieties that can allow us to produce more yield with less water, increase water productivity. Similarly, technologies around the application of water in irrigation systems is an area where we have made lots of improvements in recent years. There's room for further improvement, but also technologies around how we manage the water, the practices, things like I'll present this in my presentation later around using drones to relay back information to control the irrigation systems, to provide information to the farmers, to provide information to decision makers elsewhere in the system. All of these will play an important part. We're applying them now, but it's something that can be applied more widely and certainly improve our overall water management in agriculture.
We are talking with Dr. Peter McCormick. He's with the Water for Food, the Daugherty Global Institute at the University of Nebraska here at the Irrigation Association's annual convention and education show. Dr. McCormick, you mentioned how we use water, and technology is also another big factor of how we can clean water too, because if water gets polluted, that becomes then we can't even use it. So is there new technologies trying to be explored to help clean water?
Yeah, I think that you're hitting on a very important point. The water quality is a major challenge, both coming from agriculture, but also the quality going to agriculture, and that agriculture likely will have poor quality water in many situations. We can clean water. There's certainly ways we can remove certain contaminants. It's very challenging once it's in the groundwater to remove a lot of those contaminants. The best way to address the problem is to avoid it. But in some cases we can't do that. So improve practices to avoid agriculture contaminating water. Improve practices to avoid urban areas contaminating water to be used by agriculture. Are certainly a major part of the equation. And then even agriculture in some cases can help improve the quality by taking the water and using some of the nutrients that's already in the wastewater, and then discharging a cleaner, or the nutrients get used in the production system. So it's understanding how water fits into the overall system and agriculture's role in that landscape, and how that agriculture can both avoid contaminating the water supply, but at the same time also agriculture can help improve the water supply.
Finally, Dr. McCormick, I know that you just arrived at the Water for Food Institute at University of Nebraska, but tell us about some of the things you're looking forward to be doing with the university.
I think an important part of the Institute, we're established to really work on the research to outcome impacts. We're really looking at how we can ensure that the research work is both responsive to the challenges, but also helps to provide and implement solutions in Nebraska, regionally in the U.S., but also globally. I think the Institute has a global emphasis, but drawing on the lessons in the Midwest, but similarly also bringing back some of the lessons and the understanding from the global context back to this part of the United States. So I'm very much looking forward to engaging in that process with some of the technologies that have already been developed, encouraging the development of new technologies, and bringing partnerships to these challenges. The challenges are very much contextual based, and how we address them in each context requires quite a bit of thinking through and different partners involved. So helping pull those partnerships together, develop those partnerships in key regions of the world and in the key regions of the U.S., I think is an important contribution that the Institute hopes to make.
Well, again, Dr. McCormick, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
That is Dr. Peter McCornick. He's with the Water for Food, the Daugherty Global Institute at the University of Nebraska. And from the Irrigation Association Convention here in Las Vegas, I'm Brian Winnikins.